Welcome back to the PNC Intermission Report. The Canes trailing by 2. Heading into the second period, Michelle McMahon here with you. A legendary figure like Ron Francis is always welcomed back inside this building after winning 2 cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins organization. Now sitting tall in the general manager seat for the Carolina Hurricanes, and with the trade line deadline fast approaching on February 29th, he has some big decisions to make. Arjon Forsland goes inside a Hurricane with Ron Francis.
Well, Ronnie, thanks so much for taking the time to sit down with us. A 2-part feature where we look at the present and a little bit into the future in the second half of this. And it has to be gratifying. You got a young team to have them in this position. We're going to take a look at the standings here. Have them playing meaningful games at this stage of the season.
Well, it's somewhat ironic. I think the first time we talked a couple months ago, I felt we were playing much better than our record indicated. I think I threw a slew of numbers at you to try and back that up. But it's certainly nice to see that change in the guys getting results. And with a young team, as you mentioned, to gain this experience and be in this position at this point in the season is very exciting for us moving forward.
There's no question. And moving forward, you do have some things on your agenda. Is there any update for the fans in terms of contract negotiations with either Cam Ward or Ekstall at this point?
No, I talked with Rick Kern in December, and we agreed to talk later in January, so that's pretty much where it is. We really haven't had discussions at this point, and there's still 6+ weeks till we get to the trade deadline, so we do have some time to sort of sit and wait and walk through this a little bit. So we'll continue to talk and have dialogue, and we'll see where it goes moving forward.
I don't think it's a surprise, but a little bit on Eric's demeanor through all of this. He's handled it well. He's leading this team now. He's playing very well at this stage. Just through your eyes, what you see.
Yeah, no, it's not an easy situation to be in. It's somewhat different back in my era. Everybody played out their option year and then went from there. But really, in years past, there hasn't been a lot of guys sort of playing that last year of the deal. They seem to get extended beforehand. So not an easy situation to be in, but I think he's handled it extremely well, and he's playing really good hockey for us.
But in terms of the goaltending, a few weeks ago, it was an area that you were not, I don't say concerned, but you were looking at as you wanted something better out of both guys. Eddie Lack goes today, Cam's play, just the two of them and how that's played out and how you see it now.
Well, they've played a lot more like we were hoping that they would play coming into the season. I think we talked the first 2 months was a little bit of a struggle, for both of them sort of finding their game. But I think from probably like December after the Dallas game on, I think they've really sort of found their niche, and both are playing confident, and both are giving us a chance to win every night, and that's what you want from your goaltending.
When you look at moving forward in the 6 weeks, when you have to make these decisions, is most of it going to be predicated on where the team is at the end of February, or do you see it as a kind of a separate agenda item that you might have to deal with anyway?
Well, I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. I think when I took over this job, my statement was that we wanted to build this thing right for the long term, and that is still my present philosophy. Any decisions we make is going to be predicated on doing what's right for the organization, not only now but going forward. I think certainly the group is playing extremely well, and you want to add pieces to that if you can. But any decision we make has to be something that makes sense for our organization, what we're trying to build here long term, because we don't want to just make the playoffs once and be out 4 or 5 years again. We want to make the playoffs year after year, at least have a chance to compete year after year.
Well, it's a perfect setup. You did it again. You'll set up part number 2 where we take a look at the future and that big plan.
Well, hold tight for part 2 of that interview. Some extraneous decisions to be made from now until February 29th. Stay with us for John Forsland and Trip Tracy on the other side.